Wednesday, let Alan Thicke test your TV IQ.
For 4 points, which was the most watched wedding ever on nighttime television?
Dust yourself off, drop everything, and beat the Primetime Challenge.
Is it hot in here?
Take the tube test Wednesday.
It still makes a delicious cup of coffee. Mr. Coffee, still the first choice of coffee lovers.
I'm not a complainer, but one thing I've noticed, when I have a headache, Tylenol helps, but sometimes not enough. So when I heard that Excedrin came up with aspirin-free Excedrin, I thought I'd try it. Guess what? It worked better than my extra-strength Tylenol. Headache. I mean, when I can get something that works better on my headache, why shouldn't I?
From the makers of Excedrin, aspirin-free Excedrin, at last.
Excuse me, could you clear a little space there? I want to tell you about GE Spacemaker products, like this color TV with radio, or this stereo radio. They fit right above the counter, so you save a lot of space. They come with AM/FM radio, swivel, have clocks, timers, and even a light to help with preparation, or cleaning up those little spills. They really do make time in the kitchen more enjoyable. GE Spacemaker products. Products that are put away even when they're working.
My cereal tastes boring, bland, and not so good, but it's high in fiber.
My cereal tastes tempting, terrific, and very good, and it's high in fiber.
Really? What is that?
Fruit and fiber.
Ah, fruit and fiber.
With all those delicious crunchy oat clusters, juicy raisins, dates, and crispy walnuts, it tastes terrific.
Delicious.
And it's high in fiber, too.
Great tasting post-fruit and fiber cereal. Why would you want your fiber any other way?
The Perkins women are baking.
Nestle's Toll House cookies.
Here's the secret ingredient. Nestle Toll House morsels, that's a secret?
They're so
rich and creamy.
Nestle Toll House morsels are the creamiest.
Nestle Toll House morsels. Make your house a Toll House.
In about 10 minutes, you can either begin making fresh brewed iced tea, or you can begin drinking
Test.
it.
Here's how it works. There are several categories of TV questions, each question worth 4 points, so you keep track of your own score. You know that good TV requires conflict, and there are 3 basic areas of conflict: law and order, life and death, love and marriage. Now, sometimes love and marriage can defy law and order and become life and death in a mini-series with Robert Urich and Victoria Principal. Love may not always lead to marriage, but it does lead to our first category, primetime passions. Here's question number 1, worth 4 points. Which of these memorable TV kisses lasted longest? Was it A, Mary Richards and Lou Grant on The Mary Tyler Moore Show? B, Sam Malone and Carla Tortelli on Cheers? C, Judy the Chimp and Dr. Allison on Daktari? Or D, Maddie Hayes and David Addison on Moonlighting? First, here's Mary and Lou discovering that office romances usually don't work. Their kiss lasted only 10 seconds. Next, Sam and Carla. They clocked in at 8 seconds.
Ooh.
Our odd couple, Judy and Dr. Allison, they rated 2 seconds with a high degree of difficulty. I mean, how long would you want to kiss a chimp anyway? Finally, Maddie Hayes and David Addison, breaking TV records and breaking furniture. As you can see, this goes on a while. You have plenty of time to give yourself 4 points if you chose answer D. Some actors will tell you that TV kisses are phony and overrated, but they never got to kiss Joanna Kearns.
Hi, I'm Joanna Kearns, and I will never forget the day I met Alan Thicke. I walked into this room filled with executives, and in the middle of the floor was Alan Thicke sitting in a chair waiting to do a scene with me, and I had never met him. And the end of the scene, we went to kiss, and his nose got in the way, so I wound up kissing him on the end of the nose. So that's what I did, and the rest is history. And after that, he told me he really was a 10 kisser. He rates himself a 10. But I want you to know that, in truth, he is a 10.
Hi, I'm Susan Rattan. There's one episode of LA Law that people still ask about, even though it was shown back in 1987. Who knew then that it would become a television legend, a source of romantic speculation unparalleled in the annals of broadcasting history? Michael Tucker, who plays Stuart Markowitz, was the first to hear of this phenomenon.
The Venus butterfly.
Venus butterfly?
That's right. The Venus butterfly.
What is the Venus butterfly?
I can't say this out loud. Come closer.
For 4 points, what is the Venus butterfly? Is it A, an ancient erotic sculpture? B, a sexual technique? C, a thoroughbred mare of exceptional fertility? Or D, an insect believed to be extinct? Now watch this to learn the correct answer.
Have you been seeing another woman?
No, of course not.
Then where the hell did you learn that?
You mean the Venus butterfly?
The correct answer is B, a sexual technique. And when this episode was shown, the switchboard was flooded with requests for explanations of the Venus butterfly. But in the interest of world stability, the exact procedure was not explained. Of course, I know exactly what it is, but I'm not telling.
Maybe Maddie and David knew the secret to the Venus butterfly. With a courtship like that, can you imagine the ratings for their wedding if David and Maddie had ever gotten married? Which brings us to question number 3. For 4 points, which was the most watched wedding ever on nighttime television? Was it A, Tiny Tim and Miss Vicky on The Tonight Show? B, Valerie Harper and David Groh on Rhoda? C, Catherine Oxenberg and Michael Praed on Dynasty? Or D, Don Johnson and Sheena Easton on Miami Vice? For 4 points, the answer is A, the wedding of Tiny Tim and Miss Vicky on December 17th, 1969. That was seen by 48 million people. It was The Tonight Show's largest audience ever.
I was sitting there behind the glass booth. The organ was playing. Here she was dressed in such a beautiful white dress, beautiful 17-year-old girl coming down the aisle. She looked extremely beautiful. It looked like a soap opera to me. She was a little nervous. I came up and I said in the vows, may I not be puffed up in this marriage. And then we had the toast and the marriage, and on the panel, the milk and honey. I was glad at the spectacle. I was glad that a girl, for the first time, and the only time, had probably the rarest time of anything on TV.
Well, time passes. Tiny Tim and Miss Vicky were married for 6 years and had a daughter named Tulip. Tulip Tim, I guess. Tulip has a little bud of her own now, a daughter named Charisse, making Tiny Tim a grandfather. In another unusual relationship, Carol Burnett began her TV career as the girlfriend of a dummy, Paul Winchell's wooden dummy, Jerry Mahoney. Now, that romance turned to sawdust, but Carol has thrived on TV ever since. She's tried everything, and we've loved everything she's done. On The Gary Moore Show, and on her own variety series, Carol Burnett and Friends. Now her new show, Carol and Company.
When we did the Carol Burnett Show, Harvey Korman, Vicki Lawrence, Tim Conway, and I appeared in more than 1,000 sketches. We all had our favorites, but for me, one in particular stands out. We call it Went with the Wind, where Harvey played Rat Butler, and I played Starlet O'Hara. And in this scene, you'll see how important our costume designer, Bob Mackey, was to the success of our sketches. you to Tara.
You vixen, you. Starlet, I love you. That gown is gorgeous.
Thank you. I saw it in the window and I just couldn't resist it. The wonderful thing about a television series is the opportunity to do something new each week that we hope will keep on adding to that special store of memories. Thank you.
That tugging of the ear was Carol's special gesture to her grandmother. Now here's a gesture they use on Monday Night Football. Means we'll be right back with more of the tube test.
Burger King has a great gift idea for the holidays that'll go a long distance. No, not another necktie for Dad. Or a necklace for Mom. Get up to 15 minutes of free crystal clear communication from U.S. Sprint when you buy a $5 book of Burger King gift certificates. Give the certificates to friends for great tasting Burger King food and use the free long distance to call anyone you like. So get fiber optic communication and ring in the holidays with Burger King. For great gift ideas, at Burger King, sometimes you've got to break the rules.
Here's 2 cold medicines. Choose one.
Sudafed.
Now choose again. This relieves these 3 symptoms, this 9.
The 9.
You chose
Dristan. It relieves 9 symptoms of my cold as opposed to Sudafed that only relieved 3.
Dristan relieves 9 tough cold symptoms.
You know, they can come out with any technology they want, but this is going to be the future. With the Norelco, I get a very clean, comfortable shave. Because I have rough hands, and if I can feel smooth, then I like it. It's just so easy. You know, it's a 90s type product.
Now, Norelco's patented lift and cut system has been improved to lift each hair and cut it even closer without the blades touching your skin.
It's very close, it's very comfortable, and it's clean.
The new Norelco, a new level of closeness and comfort.
I see your true colors shining through. I see your true colors shining through. Don't be afraid to let them show.
Catch the true colors of the season on Kodacolor Gold Film.
Introducing new Clorox detergent.
Clorox makes a detergent? Clorox detergent?
Clorox detergent dissolves dingy residue other detergents may leave behind.
Clorox makes a detergent.
New Clorox detergent. Tell Mr. Dingy goodbye.
Saturday, the aftermath of war.
You love me, don't you, Lanier?
Damn right.
The pain of readjustment.
Could somebody love me now?
You're beautiful.
China Beach. Then, you know who.
No.
Now learn what. Why. And how. Twin Peaks Saturday.
Sunday, Arnold Schwarzenegger is a human time bomb and he's set to blow. Commando Sunday.
Welcome back. Think of those great families, the Bradys, the Keatons, the Cunninghams. We were at home in their homes. Made you just want to come on in, wipe your feet, and have a cookie. And, of course, the most important TV family, the Nielsen's. Hey, if the Nielsen's liked you, you could be in the neighborhood for a long time. We've shared these folks' most intimate moments because, after all, it's all in the family. And that's our next category. There's a TV transition for you. Here's question number 4, worth 4 points. Who was the first TV series character to diaper a baby in open view? Was it Lucy Ricardo, Dr. Marcus Welby, Dr. Cliff Huxtable, or Archie Bunker? If you guessed A, Lucy Ricardo, you're wrong. Lucy practiced the art of diapering on a doll, but we never saw her diaper a little Ricky. The correct answer is Archie Bunker.
Oh, you taped up there, huh? Oh, that's pretty good. Get that off there. There we go. There we go. Now we get it off there. Now we get it up. Okay, I ain't leaving it alone.
Some of Archie Bunker's values were shared by another fervent conservative, Alex Keaton of Family Ties. In his darkest hour, Alex knew there was one guiding spirit to whom he could always turn. Here's your next question. For 4 points, whose photo did Alex Keaton keep on his nightstand for inspiration? Was it a picture of A, Donald Trump, B, Diane Sawyer, C, Richard Nixon, or D, Nancy Reagan? Watch this clip for the answer.
Help me out here. I mean, what would you do? Pressure mounting from all sides, your entire future, your career hangs in the balance. Would you do something you knew was wrong?
Yes, the answer is C, Richard Nixon. At other times, Alex had a poster of William F. Buckley above his bed. Alex occasionally rearranged his art, but his decorating style was consistent. It was always early Republican. Other TV residences may lack Alex's political decor, but they're just as distinctive. For our next question, we're going to take you on a video tour of 4 rooms from current TV series. You have to name the show that goes with each room, okay? Here's your first one. Here's room number 2. Room number 3. And room number 4. Now for 1 point each, let's go back and see how you did. This is the kitchen from Roseanne. And yes, this is the living room from Growing Pains. Those are my tush prints on the sofa. This is Phil's bar from Murphy Brown. For the people in the news business, this is a living room. Finally, here we are in the Golden Girls kitchen, and guess who's not here?
Hi, I'm Betty White. Naturally, I love the members of my Golden Girls family, but some of my favorite members of other TV families have been animals. They're usually at the center of the action, and they're often the brains of the family as well. Just ask my friend Dreyfus of Empty Nest. Would Wilbur Post have gotten a show without a horse like Mr. Ed? And wouldn't the Everglades have been just another lonely swamp without that lovable bear, Gentle Ben? And without Arnold the pig, how would the Ziffels of Green Acres have known what to watch on television? But of course, the most famous and the bravest of all the TV animal stars was a dog, Lassie. Oh, she was a dog you could really trust. Except maybe about one little thing.
Lassie will find me. Go get him, girl.
True or false? Lassie was always played by girl dogs. For 4 points, false. Lassie was always played by boy dogs. That Lassie was one clever laddie. Did you know that Lassie was probably the only dog who also functioned as a casting director? Each of the young boys who were being considered for the role of Lassie's master had to spend 1 week living at Lassie's house. The one Lassie liked best got the job. Hey, Dreyfus, did you ever think about having that written into your new contract?
Not all TV families had pets, of course. They were happy just to have each other. We've eliminated one important member from each of these family portraits. For question number 8, you get 1 point for each missing person you identify and return to the family unit. Here's your first picture. Here's picture number 2. Number 3. And number 4. First, these are the Andersons from Father Knows Best. Jim, Betty, Bud, and Kitten. Everybody's here except Mom, Margaret. Here are the Cleavers, Ward, June, and Wally. Leave it to Beaver to be missing. From The Cosby Show, a full harvest of Huxtables here. Cliff, Claire, Sandra, Denise, Theo, everyone but young Rudy. And the Jeffersons, without the family founder, that dapper dry cleaner, George. That's 4 points if you got them all right.
Hi, I'm Sherman Hemsley. People still ask me how a character as basically unsympathetic as George Jefferson could have become so popular. You know, George started off on All in the Family as a black Archie Bunker. An opinionated white guy was one thing, but an opinionated black guy, that was really something. People may wonder if I'm anything like George Jefferson. No way. Hey, I'm just an actor. Me? George Jefferson? Nah, I'm a pussycat.
Here's the next question, worth 1 point per item for a total of 4 points. See if you can connect the TV character with the article of clothing. Here's item number 1. Who wore this? Now item number 2. Item number 3. And last, number 4. Now for 1 point each, let's go back and see how you did. As long as Laverne wore her L monogram somewhere, you could always tell her apart from Shirley. Magnum P.I. wore this Detroit Tigers cap. Colonel Henry Blake of MASH wore a fishing hat. And finally, this belongs to Columbo. If an investigation was going on, so would Columbo's raincoat. Give yourself 1 point for each one you got right. For many TV characters, their hair was their trademark. People with coiffes that wouldn't quit. Here are some do's. Now, you identify the face that belongs underneath these famous follicles. 1 point for each correct answer, 4 if you know them all. Here's face number 1. Who could face number 2 be? Can you place the third face? And this is our last. Here are the answers at 1 point apiece. That hair could only belong to that girl, Marlo Thomas. This mohawk is outstanding. Even after the show got canceled, Mr. T's hair was renewed for another 13 weeks. These blonde curls are fit for an angel, one of Charlie's angels, Farrah Fawcett. Oh, this has to be Marge Simpson. Who else do you know with a blue beehive? We'll be back with a new category, In Tune. To get you in the mood, see if you can name this famous TV theme.
Polaroid. We can help you in ways you never thought of.
Working together, showing you how, helping you say it, doing it now. When there's work to be done, feelings to capture, nothing works faster. We are the answer. Nothing works like Polaroid. Nothing works like Polaroid.
Crab puffs.
Thank you.
Dave Thomas, founder of Wendy's, is always on the lookout for new food ideas.
Try one?
What do you call these things? What I could go for is a Big Dave's Deluxe.
A Big Dave's Deluxe is a 1/4 pound of fresh beef, cheese, 3 strips of bacon, sautéed onions, the works, and it's only at Wendy's.
Sure beats a crab puff.
Come in today and try another Big Dave's Deluxe.
Thursday, there's no sacrifice too great.
No. You had women massaging you?
When a friend is kidnapped on Father Dowling, then a stakeout exposes a murder.
Did she kill him?
And Victoria could be next. Gabriel's Fire after Father Dowling Thursday.
An average American home, but lurking within are millions of uninvited guests. These aren't monsters from a science fiction thriller, but unseen creatures that share our world. See The Secret Life of 118 Green Street on World of Discovery, Sunday at 7, 6 Central.
The tube test will continue in a moment. The next time you fly, you could be on a plane controlled by a computer.
The pilot is essentially along for the ride.
When trouble happens, who's in charge? 2020, Friday.
It's true. More older and wiser people shop at Publix.
That's right.
Because you don't get older being foolish.
I wasn't born yesterday, honey, and I know good produce when I see it. Nobody's going to tell me different. That's why I shop at Publix.
The best produce, the best service, and the best values. Compare our price on all-purpose white potatoes, just $1.49 for a 10-pound bag. Get it all together.
I'll buy that.
With Publix.
And now, an Eyewitness News brief.
Hello, I'm Marla Weech.
I'm Bob Opsahl. Coming up on Eyewitness News tonight, lawmen are concerned about burglars who've committed crimes against children while robbing homes. We'll have the full story tonight.
You know all about G.I. Joe, but what's military life like for G.I. Joan? We'll take a look at how military roles are changing with the times.
Also tonight, authorities are trying to determine if a Fort Myers police dog is responsible for killing a 2-week-old baby.
Join us for Eyewitness News tonight at 11 o'clock.
Sure, Santa likes cookies, but he loves Munchkins. Get this holiday gift jar for $2.29 when you buy 45 Munchkins at Dunkin' Donuts. And don't forget to leave some for you-know-who.
Why some SeaWorld penguins are leaving the cold Thursday at noon.
This is WFTV Channel 9, Orlando.
You'll have to be especially tuned in for this next section of our test. It's all about TV music. Just now you heard the theme from Bonanza in its familiar version, but back when they did the pilot for Bonanza, the producers thought it would be a nice touch if the theme was sung by the 4 male stars. That was Lorne Greene, Michael Landon, Pernell Roberts, and Dan Blocker. And then everybody took a second look and had a listen to what they had filmed.
I've got a flair for women everywhere. Bonanza! Bonanza! Aye, aye, aye! 1 for 4, 4 for 1. This we guarantee. We got a right to pick a little fight. Bonanza! Bonanza! If anyone fights any one of us, he's got to fight with me!
Yee-haw-yo. No wonder the Cartwrights spent so much time alone on the Ponderosa. The Vienna Boys Choir, they're not. But some series stars were a tad more musical than the Cartwrights. For 4 points, 2 of the teen stars of this family comedy series each had hit records, and one had a song that went to #1. Was the show The Partridge Family? Was it The Brady Bunch? The Donna Reed Show? Or Kate and Allie? Tricky question. The Partridge Family sold several million records, but only David Cassidy and his real-life stepmother, Shirley Jones, were real-life singers. Allison Smith of Kate and Allie starred as Annie on Broadway, but never had a solo hit. Several Brady Bunch teens sang, but none had top 10 records. The correct answer is the Donna Reed Show. Paul Peterson, who played the son Jeff, recorded My Dad, and Shelley Fabares, who stars on the current ABC series Coach, played the daughter Mary, and she sang Johnny Angel.
Hi, I'm Shelley Fabares. Looking back to the year 1962, I recall that we were in between the second and third years of the Donna Reed Show, and Tony Owen, who was the producer of the show, came to Paul Peterson and to me and said, have a great idea for next season. We're going to have you sing a song, we're going to record it, we'll write a script around it, and you'll do it on the show. I was struck with terror because I cannot sing. I couldn't sing then, I can't sing now. So I was also a very polite young woman, so I said, well, Mr. Owen, that is just a great idea, but there's like one problem, I can't sing, so I can't do it. And we went on and on for 3 weeks, and finally Mr. Owen came to me one day and he said, now, Shelley, did you want to be on the show next year? And I very naively said, oh, yes, Mr. Owen, I love the show, of course I do. And he said, good, then sing.
You're an angel to me. Here we come, walking down the street. We get the funniest looks from everyone we meet. Hey, hey, with a monkey.
Hey, hey, it's the Monkees. The Beatles movies A Hard Day's Night and Help were the model for the Monkees TV series. Many people today can still name the Fab Four, John, Paul, George, and Ringo, but here's your next question. For 1 point per simian, 4 if you can name the whole troupe, what are the first names of the 4 Monkees? The answers are Mike, as in Nesmith, Peter, Tork, David or Davy Jones, and Mickey Dolenz. The names could have been quite different, you know. Hundreds of young men tried out for the Monkees. Several who were rejected later became famous anyway, including Stephen Stills, Paul Williams, and Harry Nilsson. Most had responded to an ad that said producers were seeking 4 insane boys, and we know of at least one odd young man who applied for the job. Believe it or not, Charles Manson. It's a spooky thought, isn't it? The Manson family singers. Anyway, it's now your chance to make some music. For the next question, we ask some people to sing the words to 2 familiar themes. When the music stops, you see if you can sing the next line. Here's theme number 1.
Da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-dum, da-da-da-dum, da-da-da-dum.
They're creepy and they're kooky, mysterious and spooky.
They're all together rookie, the Addams Family.
That was a theme to the Addams Family. The next line is...
Their house is a museum. When people come to see them, they really are a scream. The Addams Family. Da-na-na-na. That's all I know. I'm sorry.
If you got it, even if your bird died when you sang, give yourself 2 points. You want to try it again for another 2 points? Of course you do. Listen and then sing the next line.
Well, let me tell you a story about a man named Jed.
Poor mountaineer barely kept his family fed.
Then one day he was shooting at some food.
It's the Beverly Hillbillies. The next line is...
And up through the ground come a bubbling crude.
Oil, that is.
Black gold, Texas tea.
There. Okay, good.
We're now up to our next category, TV taboos. You know, there used to be a long list of things you could not do on television. Some things were so taboo, it's still taboo for me to even mention them. On which of these primetime series did the following lead performer moon on the air? Was it Bruce Willis on Moonlighting, Ed Flanders on St. Elsewhere, Ed O'Neill on Married with Children, or John Goodman on Roseanne? For 4 points, the answer is B, Ed Flanders on St. Elsewhere. It was not a lighthearted moment either. The dignified Dr. Westfall dropped his job as well as his pants.
Let me try to tell you in terms that I think you're going to understand. You can kiss my pal.
Here's the next question. For 4 points, which series featured TV's first interracial kiss? Was it Benson, Hotel, Star Trek, or Miami Vice? The correct answer is Star Trek.
I am not afraid.
The first interracial kiss on Star Trek was indeed Uhura and Captain Kirk. The networks were concerned about it, what would the South say? And our one bitter letter came from a guy who said, I'm from the South and I don't believe in the mixing of the races, but anytime a red-blooded American boy like Captain Kirk got a gal in his arms that looked like Lieutenant Uhura, he ain't gonna fight it.
Star Trek broke all the rules, didn't they? Well, years ago, even married couples had to be shown on TV in twin beds, but somehow they still had lots of children, hence the expression, the magic of television. Which of these married couples was the first to share a double bed? Was it Mike and Carol Brady on The Brady Bunch? Bob and Emily Hartley on The Bob Newhart Show? Charles and Carolyn Ingalls on Little House on the Prairie? Or Lily and Herman Munster on The Munsters? The answer is D, The Munsters.
Gee, you certainly go through an awful lot, Lily, to make yourself beautiful just to go to bed.
Actually, the producers and cast of The Brady Bunch always believed they were the first to smash the double bed barrier.
Hi, I'm Florence Henderson, and this is not an easy moment for me. Frankly, I'm shocked to learn that Herman and Lily Munster beat Mike and Carol Brady to a double bed. Now, I know that compared to the Munsters, the Bradys must have seemed pretty conventional. No cobwebs, no family members who could change into bats, but at least we believed we were innovators in the bedroom.
Mike, why couldn't we do something in the garage?
I mean that we really thought we had introduced a whole generation of Americans to the novel idea that married couples could sleep together.
I know. How about the attic?
And now what am I? First runner-up to Lily Munster.
All actors have to get used to the concept that there are no small parts, only small paychecks. But some of our favorite actors made rather humble debuts on television. We've assembled them in a category we call opening acts. We're going to show you a clip from a 1969 episode of a Western series called Lancer. For 4 points, see if you can identify the young man making his TV acting debut.
Hey, mister. You know, with a dog like that, why, I bet you don't even take a gun when you go bear hunting.
Ah, those dimples, that voice. And that rotten luck with dogs. Could it be anyone other than Tom Selleck, later to become Magnum P.I.? Believe it or not, when he was a very young man, Tom Selleck's bad luck sometimes extended to women as well as dogs. Before he became an actor, he had appeared twice as a contestant on The Dating Game. Nobody picked him. But he got off easy compared to Burt Reynolds. Burt was on The Dating Game 4 times, and he was rejected every time. Somewhere tonight, 6 very bitter women are kicking themselves. And their husbands.
Hi, I'm Dwayne Hickman. On The Many Loves of Dobie Gillis, my chief rival for the affections of Thalia Miniature was a character named Milton Armitage. Milton was rich, spoiled, and arrogant. Unfortunately, he was also handsome and dressed to kill. For 4 points, who played Milton Armitage? Was it A, William Shatner, B, Troy Donahue, C, Warren Beatty, or D, Jack Nicholson? Guess now, because here's your answer.
You know, I always hang my clothes 6 inches apart so that the materials don't rub together. You know, many a wardrobe has been ruined by materials rubbing together.
How many suits would you say you had?
Oh, well, I'd have to check. I mean, I really couldn't say offhand.
Hey!
All I can tell you is that my closet is 16 feet long.
Oh, God!
The answer is C, Warren Beatty.
We'll return with a new category, What's Their Line? If you can name the show that featured this TV theme, then you understand the true meaning of bottled blonde.
Merry Christmas! Hey, who's this?
Season's eatings from Kentucky Fried Chicken.
I love this guy.
How did you know we wanted a holiday meal?
He's got a list.
Now get a holiday bucket of chicken, a party-sized bucket of hot wings, or a holiday meal, each for just $9.99.
So, really, what do we owe you?
It's the spirit of the season.
J.C. Penney can help make your holidays everything you want them to be. This week, save 30% on stone jewelry during our holiday jewelry sale. You'll also save 30 to 50% on beautiful 14-karat gold. And to add a little sparkle to your holidays, choose from our diamonds at savings of 20 to 40%.
It's J.C. Penney, where fashion comes to life. Getting to know you.
Geo Metro XFI. That's the best mileage you can get. This car can make a difference. Runs clean. I know I'd breathe a lot easier. And it's so affordable. It'll let me see more of the world. I like where this is going.
Getting to know you.
Now's the time to get to know the Geo Metro XFI at your Chevrolet Geo dealers.
It's real life. Real funny. It's America's funniest home videos. And now it's a game you can play at home, featuring hundreds of the show's most amazing and hysterical home videos. Just pop the tape in your VCR, and you'll be voting, winning, even writing your own captions.
Eat your soup. Holly, want to know?
Play America's Funniest Home Videos game, because real life is hilarious.
Keep smoking crack, and eventually you'll be left with nothing.
Hi, I'm Charles Gibson.
And I'm Joan London.
Holiday entertaining? Tomorrow, a caroling party. Some ideas from Skitch and Ruth Henderson.
Also, how the tree you select this year could become a permanent part of your landscape. Plus, best-selling author Judith Krantz here on Good Morning America tomorrow.
Meet Desert Shield's first conscientious objector. Thousands are there, but this soldier refused to go. Plus, you may have had problems with home improvement contractors, but this one would be your worst nightmare.
I paid this guy to destroy my house.
Watch Prime Time, Thursday.
You've been listening to the theme for My Dream of Jeannie, a comedy about an astronaut lost on a desert island who finds a bottle containing a 2,000-year-old genie. She doesn't look it, though. She's a gorgeous blonde who has everything but a navel. Well, he becomes her master, and she will grant him any wish at all. But this guy never wishes for the big one. All he wants are eggs over easy and a lint-free sweater. Who thought of this stuff? Writers and producers, that's who. The people whose job it is to take plausible-sounding professions and work them into totally implausible plots. We're going to show you a fairly typical pitch session in which a producer, played by comedian Elaine Boozler, is trying to sell a new program. Now, 3 of the shows she'll pitch actually were on TV. For 4 points, I defy you to identify the bad idea, the one that never made it to air. Now, here's the first idea.
Okay, you want it different? I got different. Picture me. I'm a nun. In Puerto Rico. A little teeny tiny nun in Puerto Rico where it's very windy, as everybody knows. And every time a big gust of wind comes up, what happens? I fly. Whoosh! It's a bird, it's a plane, it's the bride of a nun. And it's adorable, and people love it because who doesn't like flying, and who doesn't like Puerto Rico, and who doesn't like nuns except if you went to Catholic school? I think it's a good show. I think people are going to like this show. I think people are going to really, really like this show.
Works for me. Here's pitch number 2.
You're making me work. Okay, here's one I was going to say for film, but I'll let you have it. What do Americans love more than anything else in the world? And you look like a man who knows. Besides that, no, look, 2 things. Mothers and cars. Everybody had a mother and everybody's trying to get a car, right? Well, listen to this. What if your mother was your car? I sense some hesitation. Stay with me. Look, a small-town lawyer goes to buy an antique car, discovers it's his mother reincarnated, brings her home, puts her in his garage. She gives great advice, gets good mileage. This show's going to appeal to everybody who's ever changed a diaper or changed a tire. Look, I have complete confidence in this show.
I like it. Pitch number 3.
Okay, I think this next idea is going to need some help. Is it hot in here? All right, look. A 60-year-old woman is out in the woods picking mushrooms, and she discovers and falls into what else but the fountain of youth. I'm surprised nobody's thought of it yet, okay? So, what happened? She goes home. By the time she gets home, she's 40 years younger. The mushrooms haven't even been born yet, and she's got to just go through the whole show pretending she's her own granddaughter. Think of the plot twists and situations. I can't, frankly, but think of the casting. I mean, every single week, B. Arthur turns into Michelle Pfeiffer. We're talking public service here. We're talking ratings. We're talking numbers. Look, I think this is the first show that has a chance at winning an Oscar.
She'll have trouble topping those, but here's pitch number 4.
I think it's time for some reality-based programming. Dateline, Washington. We pan across the Washington Monument, the Potomac, the Pentagon, the White House. A special advisor has just been named to advise on nuclear energy and defense missile policy. Is he from Yale? No. Harvard? No. He's from the circus because he's a talking orangutan with a genius IQ. And the FBI wants him, and the government wants him, and we got him, and we get to dress him up in little 3-piece suits. What do you think? What?
Show number 1 starred Sally Field as the flying nun, Sister Frequent Flyer. Show number 2 is called My Mother the Car. It crashed. Show number 4, Mr. Smith, also actually aired. The title role was played by an orangutan who had already starred in 2 Clint Eastwood movies, Any Which Way You Can and Every Which Way But Loose. Any old way you look at it, you get 4 points if you answered number 3. There has never been a TV show about a 60-year-old woman who drinks from the fountain of youth and becomes her own granddaughter. At least not so far. To memorialize television shows that have made a lasting impression on American culture, the Smithsonian Institution in Washington has an exhibit of items, including Fonzie's leather jacket and Archie Bunker's armchair. Here's a picture of another item in the Smithsonian. For 4 points, identify the item. Is it Grandpa's blood purifier on the Munsters? Mork's food processor from Ork on Mork and Mindy? Maynard Krebs' science project on The Many Loves of Dobie Gillis? Or Hawkeye's gin still on MASH? The correct answer is Hawkeye's gin still on MASH.
Mister, breakfast? The kidneys were expecting orange juice. Silly kidneys. Smooth.
Oh, this morning was a very good year. And if you were in the military, you probably never had as much fun as Jim Neighbors.
Hi, I'm Jim Neighbors. You know, in all the years that I shot Gomer Pyle, there were so many wonderful memories on camera and off camera, but one that I remember kind of fondly is we were on location in downtown Los Angeles, and I was standing at a bus stop, and I had on my civilian clothes rather than my uniform. So I was standing there waiting, and a little old lady walked up, who obviously was not one of the extras, and I didn't realize it at the time, but anyway, she walked up to me and started talking, and she didn't recognize me, and so I realized that, and she said, "What are they doing here?" She saw all the equipment and the people, and I said, "Well, they're shooting a TV series." And she said, "Well, which one?" And I says, "Well, they're shooting Gomer Pyle." And she says, "They really should shoot him, you know. He's so stupid."
This ain't a ride, and this ain't Disneyland.
Lucky thing I didn't have nothing in my pockets, ain't it?
Come on, get up here. Get.
Gomer Pyle wasn't always getting yelled at as a soldier. Before he became a Marine, he was getting yelled at as a gas station attendant. For 4 points, which of the following series introduced the character Gomer Pyle? Was it Petticoat Junction, The Andy Griffith Show, Peyton Place, or Green Acres? The answer is B, The Andy Griffith Show. Andy played a North Carolina sheriff, which would have qualified him for our next category, Law and Order.
Hi, I'm Mike Connors. You know, as Joe Mannix, I spent 8 years fighting for law and order on TV. If only the real world was run by TV producers, we could solve the planet's problems in a single night. Just stick a few TV private eyes on the case at 8 p.m., let the TV cops round up the bad guys at 9 p.m., and have the TV lawyers put them away at 10. And by the end of the evening, Ted Koppel could come on and tell us all's well, and we could all get a good night's sleep. Now, Perry Mason was television's most successful lawyer. 9 seasons of completely satisfied clients. Or were they? True or false, Perry Mason never lost a case. For 4 points at $150 an hour. False. Perry lost 3 times, but in 2 cases, the decisions were reversed when the true murderers were revealed at the last minute.
We, the jury and panel to try the above entitled case, find the defendant guilty of murder in the first degree.
TV victims in search of justice often rely on private eyes. The most popular private eyes become public figures. And the figures the public wanted to see a lot of back in 1976 belonged to Charlie's Angels. For 1 point each, which 3 of these lovely ladies were the original Charlie's Angels? 4 points if you get all 3 right. There's a bargain. One point per halo. The original Charlie's Angels were Kate Jackson, Jacqueline Smith. Here's how it works. There are several categories of TV questions, each question worth 4 points, so you keep track of your own score. You know that good TV requires conflict.